Goodly Muggly.
Oh, she'd be at the Hall of Fame.
Three,
Can't wait.
2, 1. We're live.
And we're back. Welcome to the TD Report. I'm your host, David Combs. I'm here with Tony Kennedy, also with Cody Bennett. Guys, we had a big week last week, didn't we? It was a little crazy. Guys, the NFL draft, our first foray into NFL draft, we had a great time with it. We hope you guys did. Definitely click the like and the subscribe button. You're going to get all of our draft analysis for today, and then going forward, you can also look at the previous 3 shows. Our previous 3 shows, we did 3 cities in 3 days.
That was great. That was
First round in Ocean City. What was that? The second through the fourth, we did in Easton,
Cigar.
and then 4th through the 7th. Wow, that was a heck of a day.
considered Hanover.
Yeah, that was Hanover, Maryland, but we call it Arundel. It might be also called Arundel Mills. Really had a good time with everyone involved. Tony, we should definitely thank our sponsors on that hosted us. That would be the Residence Inn Hotel in Ocean City.
Yep.
That's going to be the Easton Cigar and Smoke Shop
Yes.
in Easton, Old Town Easton, and the Buffalo Wild Wings at Arundel Mills Mall.
Yes, and also the Hampton Inn on 43rd Street in Ocean City.
Hampton Inn 40. Yeah, that was nice because they're right there on the dock, right?
Yep.
That was nice.
Yeah, and they got.
Oh, they had a jacuzzi.
Yeah,
See, I didn't even get to do the jacuzzi.
you were up in because you were high class up in the Marriott.
I was at the Marriott, but
You and Cody's up in the
oh,
Marriott.
we were in the Marriott. All right. They got a nice bubble tank over there. It's pretty cool. A bubble wall, which is kind of nice. But doing the draft and then getting a chance in that first round to really experience what an actual first round draftee's green room is like. The energy around the family. We'd like to thank Christian Darrisaw and his family. Congratulations, Christian, on getting yourself drafted. Number 19 to the Vikings.
23rd to the Vikings.
23rd to the Vikings. Excuse me. Big day for his family. We want to thank the Darrisaw family for letting us kind of literally sit in their living room and enjoy the festivities with them.
That was great.
I thought our followers and our viewers did get a chance to see something that you normally don't see, where you'll see the draftee walking directly behind us, his folks, making sure that their guests, their family, their friends are in good shape, and everyone's got a drink in their hand, and everyone's happy to hear the blessed moment and be excited for their guy. So again, our thanks to the Darrisaw family for letting us get an inside look at that, and it's a big deal for our show. They could have gone with anybody.
Yeah,
they could have gone with Hokie Haven or something like that. No disrespect, Hokie Haven, we love you over there. Or TSL, Tech Sideline, another great website for the Hokies. But thanks to you, Big Tony, you had the ends and you got us in the room, man.
Well, it's Kim Cherry, his mom, and them.
Real nice lady.
Real nice lady, and Dad Jay. Just talking to them, and it was good for them to get away and find a nice place to celebrate one of the biggest moments of their life. I mean, and it's Ocean City. Even though we're over here, it's a really, really good place to go and just to get away. And it worked out perfect, and it was cool to kind of see Ocean City up on the thing for all the NFL Network and ESPN.
Give Ocean City a little pub, right?
Yeah, Ocean City got a lot of pub that night. A lot of pub.
Well, it's a joyous occasion, but the NFL's a business.
Yes, it is.
These teams that were looking at this player or that player, we had a little bit of trades in the first round. Now, I said, you, and Cody, we thought that the over-under on trades in that first round was going to be 3. And I think we hit it right on the nose.
Yeah,
was it 3?
Was it?
There was 4.
I thought it was going to be over 4, but I said the over-under would be 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we hit the over-under. We knew the over-under that was going to hit on that.
Right.
And when we hit that third one, I thought I said that coin is literally going to stick.
Yep.
Not on heads and not on tails. It's going to be a push. And then we got one more trade in that first round.
And that was it. Yeah.
So we went over on trades. I'd heard some of the experts say that there could be as many as 5 trades in that first round. Okay. That speaks to something that we had talked about, a common theme on the show, newer GMs.
Yep.
As many newer GMs coming in the league. Now, in the second round and third rounds, we saw a lot a lot of work going on
A
as
lot.
far as a lot of teams
lot of
moving
trades.
down. We know that the Ravens moved.
And we
Yeah.
called that because the amount of talent that slipped into that early, mid, second round that were still clearly first round talent, people who didn't think they'd be there wanted to get their hands on some of those players.
That's great.
So it was.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's keep going on that. First round talent getting pushed down to the second and third rounds, but at the same time, we see a guy like Jamin Davis for the WFT, who we'll talk about later when we talk about the grades from our insiders. And before we get to that, thanks to our insiders, great work with
Absolutely.
us during the draft,
Yes.
especially the first round. It's literally a madhouse with speculation coming in, what's actually going to happen, what does happen,
Mhm.
does the trade actually go through. Our insiders on the show gave us a lot of information, sometimes even 2 to 3 minutes before the networks even had it,
Mhm.
which that just shows the speed of the information and the fact that you don't have to be Mel Kiper, you don't have to be Chris Mortensen. All respect to Mort and Mel, who do an excellent job,
Right.
but we got some folks that know some folks too on
Yes,
the
indeed.
on the TD report.
Devin, I like you, brother.
Yeah.
He was hitting it too.
Yeah. Devin hit a bunch of them,
Yep,
and Cody
yep,
hit quite a
yep.
few too.
Mhm.
And what you brought up in the show, the guys on ESPN and NFL Network, Can't Knock the Hustle. They're getting paid millions of dollars to make these calls.
Yep.
We're not getting. Cody, did you get your check for millions?
Not
No,
yet.
Tony, you get yours?
No.
I didn't check my mailbox today. I didn't get mine, but we were making calls that were very close. We almost hit the first round, almost pretty close,
I think
with the
outside of a couple of surprise
Yeah,
trades,
with the exception of that trade. The Dallas
trades,
trade
and
was
then
a strange one.
The Saints pick and the Green Bay pick, I think, threw us a little bit.
Well, the
But
two
It threw
corners,
everybody.
the two corners that
Yeah.
went early,
Yeah,
that kind of pushed everything back
right.
and kind of messed up. But
J.C. Horn.
we kind of knew that Dallas
J.C.
was
Horn
going
was
to
the
go
one.
get Parsons though after
J.C.
that.
Well, J.C. Horn changed the whole first.
Yes,
he
he
changed
did.
the whole first round.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when you look at what happened, the acquisition of J.C. Horn via the draft, did that push all of those corners that started we getting runs on corners in the second and the third round, where we would see a team in a division go for a corner when we weren't expecting them to,
Well,
and then
we
the
had-
team behind them goes for a corner.
I think there was a good portion of that in that mid to early late first round,
Mhm.
and that's what caused a lot of that first round talent to fall into the second
Right.
because they took J.C. Horn early. Then you saw a good run at cornerbacks. Although I mean Green Bay took what, Eric Stokes,
Yep.
Mhm.
Something
you know,
like that,
and,
yeah.
and a lot of people were expecting a wide receiver or something to at least help out.
Aaron Rodgers was
Rodgers.
expecting a wide
Yeah.
receiver.
Yeah. And come to find out, I don't know if we've heard anything, but sidebar, there was more on that as far as him being upset with the fact that he praised the wide receiver that they had, and a day later they cut him.
Yes, they did. So
Yeah,
the
I'm
saga
upset
in
about
Green
that.
Bay.
Yeah.
I think let me put a note on that. Let's get to Green Bay just in a second because a lot of news has hit over the last few days. Some of it involving the WFT.
Oh yeah.
Let's just talk about it now. Okay, on the TD report, Bill Barnwell. What is he? ESPN or NFL Network? I can't remember. He's one of the two. I think he might be independent, but I was reading his Twitter feed. Bill Barnwell went through the NFL, went through the whole league, and looked at the most likely teams that were quarterback hungry or needed a quarterback, and had not just drafted, a
Right.
franchise guy or a second or third round QB. There were 7 teams on that list, the WFT being one of them. And then he started putting out tweets on potential trade scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
So the one that came out for the WFT that hit the radio was the WFT would give up next year's first and second and Matt Ioannidis and Fitzpatrick
And the following years, first and second.
Wow.
Two firsts.
2 firsts,
2
2 seconds, Matt Ioannidis, a starter,
Correct.
a very good starter,
Correct.
and
And
Fitzpatrick,
Fitzpatrick.
their starting quarterback, ostensibly.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Okay, you're a WFT guy. I'm not a WFT guy, and I say do the deal. I say your window to win a Super Bowl is never going to be as open as it is now. The division is priced to move. You should be able to win the division by week 12.
That set
Week
us,
12.
That set us up for a run for at least the next 5 years. Easy.
With Rodgers, he's
yeah.
not going to play another 5.
You don't think?
Yeah.
I think he pays maybe 3.
I think.
And this is the thing with
He's
Rodgers.
got 5 in him.
I think he got 5.
Wow. You on the bandwagon, Tony?
Yes.
Mr. Tony is on the bandwagon for. We might have to print this.
I think
Somebody
he's got
print this.
5.
I think he
You
got
think
5.
Aaron Rodgers would play in a WFT uniform 5 more years? That means he's got to sign an extension.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. If we got him there, I think he would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't collude, so you don't
Don't
know,
Right.
but you make the deal.
I'd make.
And
the
you
deal,
say, we're gonna
absolutely,
we're
and
gonna
I would
make it
give
worth
an
your while.
Extension on top of it. Yes.
Wow.
This would be his best defense he probably would
Ever.
ever had.
Probably even better than one in Green Bay.
The one-
and
It's
they
a
won the
massive,
Super
one
Bowl.
that won the Super
massive
Bowl.
upgrade on speed for the wide receiver
Yeah.
core.
Definitely.
It's
Little
a,
bit
it's
of
down,
Receiving out of the backfield.
but it's a downgrade in the running back because they running backs were good.
As far as running back, but
But
receiving out of the backfield.
Receiving
Right.
out of the backfield makes them more dangerous because
Oh, very much so. Very
Receiving
much
out of
so.
the backfield is a
Makes
big
more
improvement.
Well-
With J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson, who played wide receiver, those guys catching out of the backfield, I'm sorry.
Should be fine. They're very
Aaron Jones
short-handed.
is amazing on the ground, and I think one of the best running backs in the league. But when it comes to receiving, I think that Washington
There's no
backfield is a
question.
bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that type of deal making, it literally sounds like something Jerry Jones would do, if he could.
It's just-
But Jerry doesn't have that defense.
Snyder's is
He doesn't have that defense to actually bring a guy in and you could say, hey, I plug in at quarterback here. What were the WFT last year? 7-10, 7-9 during the regular season. How many games more do you win if you just swap quarterbacks, Tony? If you have Aaron Rodgers,
Right
you
now,
swap
if-
him in from
if
last
you
season.
put-
How many
If
games?
you put Aaron Rodgers in, the only reason why they won't win the 13 or 14 is because they play in the first place schedule. They would probably be 11 and 12 games. So
What
that's
about
like
this?
12 and 5.
That's last year. But what do you think about this year?
This year, I'm just saying, because now the Washington football team has to play first place schedule.
hmm
So that's going to take away from what I would. Because with Aaron Rodgers, with that defense,
hmm
I'd
with
still
that
give
defense,
him-
I would have put them at like 14 and 3.
Yeah,
So-
I was gonna
so
say,
you'd
I'd
be
give
taking
him,
them-
I'd give him 13.
I give
All
them
day.
11, 12, 13
If
games.
we
Aaron
go to a
Rodgers-
17-game season this year,
17
right?
game
Yeah.
season.
So
yeah.
you're going 13-4, 14-3
I'm
with
yeah.
with
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 Aaron
with
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
With Aaron
Yeah, with Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, that's like a second seed. Maybe, well, actually,
That
that's a
maybe-
first seed.
that
That's
could
a number
be-
one seed.
It could be a
Yeah.
number one
And
seed.
I don't care what. I'm sorry, Tom. I
It's
gotta
that
say this.
defense, man.
Tom Brady. I'm gonna say this to you. Y'all ain't going 14-3 next year.
No, they not.
Y'all taking a little dirt
No.
nap here and there. You
No.
know, I think next year the Buccaneers are about an 11 and 16,
Mm-hmm. 12 and 5.
but they'll win the division. They'll win that.
Yeah.
They'll win their division.
Yeah, because the Saints is. went
Saints
down.
aren't going. The Saints
Yeah.
will not improve.
Who's
They
the
are not going
Saints?
to
Is
improve.
Carolina's in their division.
This Carolina is not going to
Yeah,
touch them.
and who's
I'm-
Atlanta? Yeah.
No, they're fine.
No, yeah.
I think their division is softer than the NFC East.
It probably is now.
Now
next
it
year.
is.
Yeah, now it
because
is.
you strip a Hall of Fame quarterback away from the Saints.
You got some good wide receivers.
The Saints?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I mean, at quarterback, just removing Drew Brees from the equation. I mean, that changes a lot.
Yeah, it does. But Drew Brees' arm was
They
done.
got Ian Brook and Taysom Hill
I like Jameis Winston.
and Jameis. I like Jameis.
Famous Jameis because he can push that ball
I
down the
mean,
field.
And Jameis is going to be.
Now you can see.
He's going to be
and now
very.
you can see that's correct.
Yeah,
He's
now
going to
you
be
can
very
see.
aggressive. He'll be very aggressive.
Yeah,
He's on a 1 year, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So
like
he's going to
him.
be definitely
He's
pushing
got
the
a good
ball.
mentality.
He,
About it.
and he can
Okay.
push that ball down the
He'll
field.
push. I
He
still
can
don't
throw a
think
lot
they
of
touch the
interceptions,
Bucks.
though. Hopefully he can see.
I
it.
still don't
Yeah.
think they hurt the Bucks to the point where,
Uh,
you know, first of all, the NFC East is going to only have what, 2 teams in the playoffs at best, and it could only be one. If Dallas falls on its face again this year, the
But-
WFT will be the only team making the playoffs in the East. The NFC playoffs in general are wide open.
The only thing that saves the NFC
I like
East
that.
of making
I
it
like Giants this year.
a year is
They're
because
the ones I'm battling with.
because their schedule.
The Giants.
The Washington football
Oh, the
team
WFT
schedule.
is going to play
They got to
that
play
first.
those 3 to 4 extra
What are they? NFC.
the
They're going to
first
play the
place
AFC
games, and
West.
then they play Raiders division.
So that's the AFC West.
Yeah, but then they got to add they extra game at Buffalo. See, Dallas extra
Right.
game is at New England.
Yep.
Right.
New England ain't close to Buffalo.
But
Buffalo's
they're still
much
New England.
better.
They're still New
It's
England.
New England, but I'd much rather go to New
Oh,
England
I'd much rather go to
than
New
go to
England
that
than
Buffalo team.
Because Buffalo
Buffalo may be number 1 seed
Buffalo
in the
might
AFC.
be the
I
number 1
agree.
seed in the AFC next
I
year.
Yeah,
agree,
so
yeah.
when you but
I
here's
called
the
them
thing:
last year.
if they go in at 17, if that game is actually the last week of the season, Washington could get lucky because if they got everything wrapped up, that game they might not play people.
They might play some of
Or
grandma.
if they throw that game in the middle of the season,
Mm-hmm.
then it changes as opposed to just throwing it as the last game.
Well, they backload the schedule anyway, so it's going to be that last week of the season when the schedule comes out. And by the way, we are going to be doing
We're
a
gonna be
special show.
scheduled next-
We're going to do a
next
special
Wednesday.
show on that. Great call, Tony.
Mhm.
We're going to be doing a special show on that on the schedule release. We're going to find out exactly who that last week, that would be what, the week 19 opponent.
Yeah,
Now they're going to do. Every team is going to get the same bye week. Is that right? In the division,
I'm
whole
not.
division is going to get the same bye week.
I'm not sure
No
how they
di-
gonna
I'm
work
not
this
sure
out,
about
man.
No
This
bye
is-
weeks. I think
it's
they
crazy.
usually come up with like some some guidelines. No bye weeks before week 4. No bye weeks after week 13, or
Mhm.
something like that. And they'll get all the bye weeks done. But at the end, you're going to see another division game at the very end of the season.
Yeah.
That and that just heightens ratings. That just keeps people more involved.
Get the comments going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely comment
Yeah,
everyone on the
comment
YouTube
anything,
link. We
we'll-
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we
And Cody's
appreciate
keeping
you.
on it.
Yeah, we're going next week when we go to the schedule release. Hey, guys, it's gonna be
That's going to be huge.
it's gonna be huge because this is it matters how you set this up because what I just said about let's say if it comes down Giants, Dallas, or whatever going against Washington. If that last game, if Buffalo got it all sewn up, now that last game that looked hard,
Buffalo is going to
it
try
might
out.
be they're gonna try out Perman and
You're not going to
and,
see
and
Josh Allen.
whoever
You ain't
else.
going to see Josh Allen.
You ain't gonna see Josh Allen. You ain't gonna see Diggs. And you ain't gonna.
No.
And then if they fighting for the division, it makes a difference when that 17 game is.
If they
Absolutely.
put an out of division game at that last one, you could see a situation where what if Dallas draws Kansas City
Yeah.
and Kansas City is all wrapped up?
Mm-hmm.
They're not putting Pat Mahomes out there.
Yeah.
They'd be crazy. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Conversely, if Dallas, then again, Jerry's a gambler. He's a bad gambler.
Back in.
But Dallas will possibly, and historically on that last game of the season, has not played their top quarterback if they have something sewn up.
Yeah.
There'd be situations where you wouldn't see Troy Aikman. They put Troy Aikman out there. He wouldn't have no helmet. You could tell if he was playing or not. What's Troy doing on the sideline? He ain't got no helmet. Oh, Troy ain't playing.
Yeah.
Jerry is already thinking ahead. And the WFT could be in that situation as well. We might not see Fitzmagic the last week of the season if they've got it sewn up.
If Fitzmagic is the quarterback.
Fitzmagic will be the quarterback of the WFT. Unless what?
we get Rodgers.
Unless you get Rodgers. I keep walking into that one. So let's get to our insiders grades.
Yeah.
Because we need to talk about a couple of these, but we're going to talk about this first one. Ed Tomlin, our insider for the Steelers, has the Steelers draft. He rates it as an A-. Now, we know Ed has got to say something nice since he knows the coach. We get it. But an A-, Ed, are you sure about that?
Ed,
about to hit the phones.
Ed,
I ain't looking for you, Ed. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
A-. Let's rate the draft. In general, and I'm being facetious.
First
I like
round.
I
I like
their,
the running back.
I like their picks all the way through. To be honest, I mean, literally, I thought the Steelers did what you would expect the Steelers to do.
Did they get help on the O line?
Yes.
Did they get a running back?
Yes.
To me that's still because the defense was already good.
Yeah.
They needed to.
I expect their defense
Now,
to be good again.
Well,
next
if
year.
Najee gives Ben that time and he gets a running game,
Which I believe he will.
okay, so if he gives him that time, so now Pittsburgh's defense don't have to play those 80, 90 plays
on defense.
On
yeah.
defense. Now,
Well,
They got a good tight end in the second.
Got the tight end in the
Fairmouth.
second.
Yeah, they
Fairmouth.
did.
Yeah.
They did.
Now that was the guy you thought that you would have wanted to see in Kansas City.
yes, the Kansas City, he had him as going, that would have been a problem.
Yeah.
Because now if they can go 2 tight end sets
Oh, they're gonna kill
and run the
somebody.
ball and got 2 tight ends who can catch like that, it
Then
makes
they,
a
Yeah.
difference.
then they replaced the center with Kendrick Green in the
Can-
third.
Yeah, they had to get that.
That's a good
had-
one.
That's a good one.
pick because that's a very need-based pick, and they got good talent there in the third for it.
And we all know, what do rookie running backs struggle at the most? Blitz pickup.
Yes.
That's usually the thing they struggle at the most is pass blocking, blitz pickup. If they get any sort of blitz pickup or any type of help on sight reads and just understanding right off the bat, Najee is their guy. Because let's be honest, he just played for essentially a pro coach at Alabama. he should be understanding now that running back room that they had at Alabama. Come on, it's ridiculous. You can't fall asleep in there. This isn't going to be Curvin Richards falling asleep in one of Jimmy Johnson's meetings with the Cowboys and getting cut on the team plane home.
He is the real deal. So Pittsburgh,
You said
they
that.
address their needs. He's the real deal. I think they took him over ATN is
They
because
did.
he can
They took him over Travis
he can
Etienne.
catch out the backfield a little bit better.
Who,
AT-
Najee?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ATN wasn't bad out of the backfield.
Etienne was very good out of that.
yeah, but
I mean, he wasn't bad. I mean, if I think we'd be looking at shades of meaning,
Pitt-
but I think Najee Harris and we talked about this. You said a million times on the show, styles make fights. Teams draft and should get back to their roots.
mhm.
And I think they weren't drafting a defensive player, but they drafted a guy that just sounds like he fits there.
Mhm.
It just, I know that Pittsburgh basically values stability. They value character. Now, it hasn't always worked out for them. They've had guys to get there, and their character isn't quite what they expected to be when some money's about to hit the table. They've had some issues. But just being able to go and sit in a meeting, you're sitting in there with the Rooney family, you're sitting in there with Mike Tomlin and his staff, you're going through the process. Now, this all process was done on Zoom. Okay, it was done on Zoom. It was done probably mostly via social media compared to years past because of COVID. But for the Steelers to go at that spot and go up and make that move there, that's a big deal. I would have expected them to maybe take that running back in the second or the third, but
I
they
don't know
went
if he
and
would
got,
have made it that far.
well, not it wouldn't have been that back. It would have ended up getting somebody else.
But they did right. They wanted their back. They went and got him.
I thought the kid from North Carolina, the running back from Carolina, if they could have picked him up
Javonte
later and
Williams.
maybe pick him up, he went in what, the second round or something,
Uh,
or the
yeah.
third.
No, I think he went in the second.
He went in the
I believe.
second.
Second round.
So I like that pick for the Steelers. Ed Tomlin, we appreciate you on
Appreciate
that.
you, Ed.
Yeah, we ain't mad at you, man. We just had to do that to tease it up a little bit,
He
you
went
know.
to the Broncos in
Yeah.
the second round.
I like that pick for them. Another grade we need to talk about. I'm gonna go check back in the teacher's book. Coach Tony, does Liz use an actual grade book when she
Mhm.
grades the kids?
Well, they
she uses the
online
old school
now.
that's online.
Yeah,
Remember
but
the
they
old
got
grade
it.
book with all the
Yeah.
lines and stuff? And you, where do I switch it so the teacher don't know I'm supposed to get it? I put another line in that D and made it a B.
Bill, he getting you, Bill.
Bill West, Ravens Roost, our buddy,
Thank you for sponsoring, Bill.
takes the Ravens and gives them an A+. Teacher's pet. I don't know about that, Bill West. A+?
I'd give their first round an A+.
I'd give their first round a solid A.
I
A
think I'd
solid
give it to them
A.
because they addressed both their biggest needs: wide receiver and an edge rusher.
Edge rusher. Okay.
I think those are their two biggest, and they hit them on the head in the first round. They got the
Mhm.
best talent available at that point with Bateman and Owa.
A+ for the whole draft, though?
No.
It's impossible.
That's-
This is
no.
why.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is why I say you can't.
Just the first round.
Right.
Hey, Bill.
Bill's gonna get us, man. But listen, I love Bill
Bill's a
because
homer.
Bill is a homer.
Bill is a homer boy.
Bill is a rider.
He gonna
He's
ride
gonna
or
ride
die
and
with
die
them
with that
Ravens,
man.
boy.
Now, our insiders that helped us out throughout the draft were able, more times than not, to be able to at least pick the area of need on the team
Mhm.
with the pick, or actually pick the guy. And frankly, Bill West probably had, out of the 9 picks that the Ravens had, I think he hit about 7 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone could pick that first one. But what the Ravens were able to do was address some areas of need and key areas. The Ravens are in a position similar to the Steelers. They felt like they had a Super Bowl contending team.
Right.
Mhm.
And they are just now on the cusp. They've already picked up the option for Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson makes, what is it, $21 million or something like that, right?
Something crazy.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
He ain't super paid yet.
No.
So
Not
now it's time for them to work on that long-term deal,
Right.
which they're
Make
probably
room for
working
it.
on right now.
Yeah, make room for it as far as with building that depth.
Yeah. So that tells me that there's some veterans on the team now
Mhm.
that are going to potentially be salary cap casualties,
Yep.
or they'll just be out and out released.
Yep.
Now, we've already seen one ripple across the NFL. The Miami Dolphins today cut their starting safety.
Yep. Exactly.
And a good player. I mean, he wasn't a bum.
No, not
And
at
helped
all.
them get to 10-6.
Yeah, that's a starting safety on the market that will probably not make like clear waivers.
No, someone's picking him up.
Someone will absolutely pick him up.
Yeah. That was interesting, but you're starting to see these ripples where certain teams, like Tony said, are going to try to be making room. They're trying to make cap room so these deals can actually work. Now, we saw some creative, cap work with the Dallas Cowboys when they were able to get the Dak Prescott deal done.
Mm-hmm.
But now, what we looked at in the draft was these teams all have a rookie set aside. So the amount of picks that they have to have a certain amount of salary cap available and out of that rookie pool in order for them to sign their rookies.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, you've got veteran players who are hitting their bonuses, who get their roster bonus, and all of that stuff starts to hit. I mean, basically, you need a whole computer program, a whole software program just to keep up with it. And then you don't want to be the guy that sits there and say to yourself, wow, with our rookie pool and what we're looking at, this is what cap room we really have. It's like swiping your swiping your debit card and all them pending transactions, and then you thought you had $2,000, you really have $25 because that rent check about to clear.
Yeah.
I hate to say it like that. So let's move on to the Eagles, okay?
Derek Law.
Derek Law is a tough grader. He bled all over the Eagles paper on this one. He gave the Eagles a C+. Why would you give him a C+? Was it because of the acquisition of Devontae Smith via the draft and trading in the division to Dallas?
And giving Dallas more capital.
And giving Dallas more draft capital.
I think giving Dallas more draft capital.
And did it to screw over the Giants. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen anything like that? In the division? I saw this move and I'm saying to myself, Jerry, what are you doing? Jerry,
dude, I was mad.
Look,
but I didn't know the back end of it.
The one thing about the NFC East, we don't help each other.
Nope.
We don't do that.
Nope.
We'd rather cut a guy.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And let him try to clear waivers and pray he gets picked up somewhere out of the division.
It doesn't pass the physical.
I mean, literally. That's how this division has been historically.
So that move, if you think about it, how do I have this thing set up with the insiders? I got the Ravens and the Steelers.
Yes.
I got the Eagles and the Giants, and the Cowboys and the Washington football team.
Correct.
Okay. Eagles don't like the Giants.
Let's go back on that. We remember the last game, regular season game.
Yes.
The Giants were sitting on the cusp of making the playoffs. All they needed was for the Eagles to beat the WFT in the final game of the year, and then they're in the playoffs.
That was it.
Why did they pull Hurts from the freaking game?
Dude, this is when they play. It's gonna be bad blood out there.
That's
not
bad
only
blood.
From that game and from the draft. I am telling you right now, that's one that you mark on the calendar right there because there's going to be some bad blood out that joint.
Just the Twitter reaction was I think it was it Eli? Yeah, Eli Manning said this is why we hate the Eagles. when they pulled Hurts, Eli Manning is retired. He's retired. He's watching the game from home. Well, he's probably in the owner's box.
Yeah.
No, they were in. Yeah, he's watching games from the owner's box with the Maras. He sees this go down, and he's on his Twitter. This is why we hate the Eagles. This is why we hate the Eagles. Literally. So now we segue. A few months later, we've got the draft happening. The Eagles and the Cowboys make a deal at 10 for the Eagles to move up to 10, for Dallas to move back to 12, ahead of the Giants. The Giants were going to take Devontae. They were going to take him.
Going to take him. He was going to be taken.
Because they knew Dallas wasn't going to take a wide receiver.
Right.
And why didn't Dallas take a wide receiver, Tony?
Because they got abundance of them, and they're trying to get rid of one now because they got to pay him.
Because they made a red herring pick on CeeDee Lamb at a spot last year that they didn't expect.
They had to take him.
You thought they had to take him? I didn't think they did. My opinion,
Well,
I don't think they had to take him.
They had to take him because they knew that they ain't going to be able to sign Gallup. And they knew they got to sign Dak. See, you can't, at that position, you can't, with Dallas, they, right now, this year, Gallup has to be on that trading block because they can't pay him.
Gallup's going to get his money. He's going to get money from
He's
somebody.
going to get him from Dallas.
But he can't get it from Dallas.
And I personally like Lamb a lot better than Gallup.
Really, already.
Lamb is good, but Gallup can play.
Gallup can play.
I like Lamb.
You like Lamb a lot better.
A lot.
Lamb had a pretty good rookie year.
Yeah.
I mean,
He didn't have his
he
quarterback.
didn't have his quarterback. What did he have? About 900 yards receiving,
Something.
893 yards receiving, a few touchdowns.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And you're not playing with Dak
playing with
most of the year?
fourth string
Because
quarterback.
when Dak went down, CeeDee Lamb probably didn't even know the playbook when that happened.
Mhm.
I mean,
It's still early.
let's be honest. It was so early in the
Yep.
season. By the end of the year, he was making certain adjustments
Mhm.
on sight reads. He was where he was supposed to be when he was the hot read.
Yeah.
I mean, as a wide receiver,
With Dak back in the fold, CeeDee Lamb is a top 10 fantasy wide receiver.
you heard it here first, folks.
Wow.
That's some early Bennett breakdown skinny right there.
Yeah.
But that's the benefit of wearing number 88, baby.
That's a
Okay.
hallowed number in Dallas,
The Cowboy
and
88.
they still give it out.
They did it. That Cowboy.
They
88.
still give the 88 out. They
Yeah.
haven't retired the 88,
No.
but it does depend on who's wearing it.
It does, but
Okay.
that number right there.
That number's special. That number's special.
That number's special.
Yeah. So back to the Eagles. C+ on their draft. They get Devontae Smith,
Yeah, it's good.
Heisman Trophy winner,
Mm-hmm.
hell of a ball player.
Great ball. Good
Would have not gone. He would have ended up with the Giants at pick number 9, right?
So
That was a done deal.
they much rather give up draft capital
I
back
mean, pick 11.
and then play against him twice with the Giants having them. They didn't want the Giants to have him.
They didn't want the
And they
Giants
know
to have
Dallas wasn't going to get him, so
Well,
guess what?
Dallas couldn't take him.
Couldn't take him, so guess what? We need to get him. So either we get him or we going to face him.
That sounds like a Dean Smith move.
Dang on right.
Dean Smith would, as when he was coach at North Carolina, he would recruit a guy that could not start for him, but to make sure that he didn't start on another team
You
against
start on
him.
Duke or Maryland
He used
or-
to kill
or
UVA with that all the time.
Mhm.
Pick up an extra guy that was 6'10".
Mhm.
Gee, why can't UVA rebound?
Mhm.
It's because the guy that they should have,
Yeah.
Ed Geff, is
He's
sitting
on
on
the
Dean's
bench.
bench and he ain't never getting off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? So the Eagles go with a C+ in that draft because of giving up the draft capital that they gave up
Mhm.
to get that acquisition. If they had wanted a wide receiver, they could have stayed right where they were and would have ended up with no worse than Kadarius Toney.
Yeah. Didn't work out like that. They
We'll
wanted
talk
to
about
screw-
Kadarius
They
in a
wanted to
second.
screw the Giants.
They wanted to screw the Giants. Let's talk about the Giants. While the Eagles go C+, they don't address everything that they need, and the Eagles really needed some help in some key spots that I thought they kind of didn't quite address.
Right.
Brand new coach.
Mm-hmm.
Howie Roseman is still the GM.
Mm-hmm.
Some real issues in Philadelphia in terms of what's going on in their building. What's the feeling? And, trading away Wentz. Wentz is gone. You've got the salary cap issues that Wentz leaves behind with dead cap. The Eagles might not be able to do anything for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like anything substantial.
I guess after the last time when he was on the show and he said Super Bowl.
He said
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
So now he looked, and he went from.
We laughed. Now listen, we clowned him hard. I mean, Tony and I were almost about to fall off the bar
He
stool.
said Super Bowl. We was
Super
like,
Bowl.
Dirk, you know better than
come
that.
on.
I see you got a dose
Yeah.
of reality
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
He started-
Okay, he got a dose of
He
reality.
got
Okay,
reality.
he
He
done
gave
reality.
him C+.
I'm going to switch gears here. Since we're talking about the Eagles, let's talk about them Giants. The Giants go with a B+ on the draft. They get a B+ from their insider.
The Giants are the only team I'm worried about this year in the NFC East.
I don't know what he's drinking off of, because Dallas going to score about 30 a game.
I don't know about that.
Dallas better score 30.
They're going
again.
to score about 30 a game.
They better. Because the league has changed. The league has changed. This is no longer a 3 yards in a cloud of dust league.
No.
This is now a put up 28 points. You got to put up 28. And that's the only way you can protect your defense is by scoring.
So let me put it to you. The Giants, I don't think they got back to their DNA. Let's just look at it. The best quarterback in the division is with Dallas.
Correct.
Now, Washington football team has the best defense in the thing.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so when you start looking at winning the division
And who's got what?
and who's got what, Dallas defense was like 31st last year.
They were terrible.
All they got to do, and they missed out playoff by one game.
Missed playoffs by one game.
All they
Yeah.
got to do, their defense has just got to be in the 20s.
Their defense needs to be top 15.
If it's defense in the 20s, they can win the division.
Defense got to be in the top 15. Tony.
I'm
just.
They won 6 games with that raggedy defense.
If they score 30 a game, their defense is still going to be on the field a lot. You've got to keep that defense in the top 15. And the real issue with Dallas's defense, it isn't the defense. They don't take the football away from anybody. I honestly think that
they had a good draft on defense, but those rookies aren't going to come up there and change that defense.
All them defensive backs? I don't think so.
Well, we did get the best defensive player in the whole draft.
With Michael Parsons, I agree.
Yeah. Don't bury the lead, Mr. Tony. We can get to Dallas in a second. Let's talk about these Giants here with this B+. Did you like their draft? Did you like their draft?
Listen, I like the Giants off season as far as their other pickups with all the other stuff. But Giants' problem is the quarterback.
This is going to be a big year for
Danny Dimes.
This is going to be a big
year
for
Danny
Nichols. And I think he'll have a great year this year.
He's going to have to.
He has yet to have all of his weapons on the field. He's
Okay.
had it for one game.
For one game. Saquon got hurt the first game
that they had all of his weapons.
So, if all that works out, I still think it's going to come down to the quarterback.
You get a healthy Saquon Barkley, and from all reports, they said he's ready to go. He's going to be fine.
Good.
So you get Saquon Barkley, you add Kadarius Toney from the University of Florida. You plug him into that lineup.
You have a healthy Evan Ingram.
Have healthy Evan Ingram.
You got Kyle Rudolph from Miami.
I like this.
You like that?
I think you play Tony. I think you do play Tony at a. I think he's a slot.
Well, you got Sterling Shepard.
I think he's a slot guy.
Yeah.
I think you got to start him out in the slot. I don't think he is an outside the numbers wide receiver yet.
He can be with that speed though.
Speed's incredible.
Like he really
and his yards after catch.
Yeah. So y'all really hyped on them Giants.
Here's also why I like this. The Giants are stockpiling 2022 draft picks.
Absolutely.
They're stockpiling them.
Okay.
Something big's getting ready to happen.
Yeah, well,
I think we're going to hear this theme again with that 2022 draft. Something big is going to happen. Those picks are going to be packaged up, and their quarterback problem could be a thing of the past.
I think this will be one of the better years that New York has had in a while.
Wow. Okay.
I really do.
That's what you're calling for. Okay.
I'm not saying they're going to win the division because I still got Washington up there, but I think they're going to be the only team right there in question with it.
Okay.
All right. So that moves us down to the Dallas Cowboys. The star. Jerry's boys.
CJ gave him
a B-. Now, I like the first pick, but we do have to ask some questions. Dallas went defense on the first, 5 picks?
5, 6 picks.
First 5 or 6 picks.
Mm-hmm.
And the next pick after that, I think the sixth pick was a offensive lineman.
Didn't they get a wide receiver?
No, the lineman.
I thought they went. They
went O-line.
They went O-line and then wide receiver, or wide receiver O-line. But I know they got one O-lineman. But everybody was a defensive pick.
Yeah.
This is what Tony said during the draft, and we don't have a poll for it. But what Tony was talking about was them first 4 picks. When Dallas went defense with the first 4 picks, it was obvious what they were trying to do. They're trying to fill in holes. The question is, out of those 6 defensive guys that I think they picked, how many of those guys are actually on the 2 deep? I'm going to give Dallas credit. I'm not going to say these guys have to start. We know Micah Parsons will start. But the rest of those guys literally have to be top contributors right out of the gate to substantiate why you use the draft capital. Here's that word again. Why you use that draft capital on draft day. The Dallas... here's one reason why I say this is a B-. The Dallas offensive line has been aging badly the last 4 years. The Dallas offensive line has not been what their reputation is. Tyron Smith has been injured. He's very beat up last year, but he gets injured every year and misses like 3, 4, sometimes more games. And it derails whole seasons for them.
Right.
At this point, it's time to replace your left tackle. It's been past time. Okay? You're paying him a lot of money. He's hurt a lot, and he's old. He costs a lot on your cap. At this point, that would have been a move I would have expected Dallas to make, is cut, trade, do whatever you've got to do. But you've got to get out of the Tyron Smith business and find that left tackle.
Yep.
I felt that Dallas waited at tight end way too long.
We got a pretty good tight end.
No, we don't want the Giants to win, Derek. We definitely don't want
Sorry,
them to win.
sorry, Derek. No, we don't.
They're just going to be, I think, the closest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dallas makes these moves, and now they're putting their defense. And Dan Quinn. Kudos to Dan Quinn. He gets a guy he wants. With Micah Parsons at the top of the draft. But then he's going to have to build and put these rookies and get them into spots where they can contribute to his defense. I think his biggest issue on defense is stopping the run.
It's the D line,
It's the defensive line.
they did well with the big kid from Kentucky.
You like him?
Yeah, listen, Dallas's problem is getting off that field on third down.
Absolutely.
So if they can get off that field on third downs and get that ball back to Dak, who's the best quarterback in that division.
They've got to take the ball away too. If you're not taking the ball away, what Dallas will likely do is Dallas will let teams matriculate the ball down the field, run up clock. Maybe they don't always score, but it's the running of snaps off on that defense. Okay, once you get past 60 snaps, your defense kind of starts to disintegrate. It starts to break. It's not as tight.
I kind of like
Not
our
as-
linebackers though.
Those linebackers are going to be
Strong
those
side.
linebackers are going to be taking on offensive linemen if your defensive
If
line
your
can't
defensive
hold.
line
If your
can't hold-
defensive line
Yeah.
can't hold those guys
Yeah,
up.
I got you.
Right.
I got you.
So I like the grade. I can live with a B minus there. Maybe give them a solid B.
Najee Harris is a beast.
Yeah, we've got
His
NFL
highlights.
Network over here. Yeah, I gave Dallas a solid B. I gave him a B for this
What'd you
draft.
give Dallas?
I think I gave him a B as well.
I gave him
Yeah, I
a B.
agree with that.
I mean,
I give him a B plus because it's Dan Quinn.
Yeah, they addressed all those needs.
now we're going to find out if Dan Quinn's worth the money.
Dan, it's Dan
We're about
Quinn.
to find out.
Oh, he can't do any worse.
Well, if Dan Quinn wants to be a head coach again,
He can't do any worse than them.
if he wants to be a head coach again, Dallas's defense would literally have to go from 31 to like top 10.
He got to
Now I think they're going to be
doomsday.
sitting at top 15. I think if Dallas's defense goes from 31 to top 15,
There's no way.
and when I mean top 15, I mean they're going to sit at 15. I don't mean they're going to be any better
That's
than
still
15.
impressive.
That's damn impressive.
That's very
For him to
impressive.
be a head coach, he's going to need to move Dallas about 15 spots off that number 31.
I don't see it happening.
You don't see it happening.
Not at all.
Why not, Cody? Their defense can't be any worse than 31st.
You're absolutely right, but I just
So what do you think they're
I just
gonna
don't
land?
think all these rookies coming in here are going to make that much of a difference year one. I don't see it.
Like I said, I don't think all those rookies are good. I don't think they can start. I
Yeah.
think the issue with Dallas is scheme. I think that's the problem.
I think with their scheme,
For
that
that
guy,
let's hope.
he's good.
Yeah, if I'm right on this,
Yeah.
Dallas's defense has to go from 31 to top 15. Tony says around the 20s is enough to make the playoffs.
hmm
I think.
If they 20th rank,
Mhm,
and they ranked in the top 10 in third down efficiency,
that's the
They
one.
will-
Okay.
they will
Okay.
be right there because Dak will score points this year.
If Dallas can't get off the field, they're in trouble. I mean, that's all there is to
Yeah,
it.
if they can't get
And,
off
that-
the field.
and that's nothing big. I mean, that's saying that I could say that about
But-
any team.
Put it like this: if Dallas didn't have Dak, we'd be talking about them be potential first pick for next year.
Correct.
Okay,
I would
but
say
they
that.
got Dak,
It should help.
and Dak
And-
with them
and-
receiving core, with that receiving core, and we see the one person we haven't mentioned, who's probably the best running back in the division, and we don't talk about him because he up and down because he had COVID last year. Is Zeke? If Zeke comes back to his form, this is over.
Tony,
Why are we talking?
My feeling on Zeke is this. I don't think the guy that you saw in Zeke Elliott as a rookie, I don't think that guy exists anymore.
What do you mean on this?
I don't think he exists anymore. That guy as a rookie was a monster.
Yeah.
He was an absolute monster.
Okay.
The best running back in the division is Saquon Barkley, period.
Easy.
Well, how Saquon? He ain't getting. When Saquon
He is
finished the
injury
season,
he is injury prone. I'm just talking about
when
I'm
you
talking
finish
about
the
abilities.
season, then you talk to me about being the best running back
He
in the
finished
division.
the season. His rookie
Until
year was
then-
incredible.
He's only into one injury.
Hey, listen.
Now, it's not his fault that they baby it.
Yeah.
When he just tweaked the ankle
Yeah.
when he was a rookie, and they were sitting him out, similar to what you're seeing with Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
They're protecting their investment.
All I'm
They're
saying
trying
right
not
now,
to. Now, if this is the old NFL, and that's Parcells out there, he ain't coming out until that ankle fall off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how football was played. If this was Dallas back when Emmitt Smith hurt his shoulder in that playoff game, he ain't coming off that field until the shoulder fall out, and it literally almost did.
Got you.
Okay, So I feel that Saquon Barkley is the best running back in the NFC East, and I don't think it's. I really
I
don't
feel
think
it's
it's that
Zeke.
close.
Kelly says, Tony, you're too much of a homer. Zeke is done in Dallas and won't be. I'm sorry, Zeke is done in Dallas. Won't be the 20 nothing ranked defense.
I'll tell you this.
I am a homer with Dallas, and this
At
is
least he admits it.
I am a homer with Dallas, and I know my boys. They went after defense, and they got the best quarterback. He's 7-1 versus Washington. He has a winning record against everybody in the division. He's only lost 5 division games.
Well, let's do this.
It's like 7 division games.
Jerry
in
Jones,
four
if you're
years.
out there, give us a call on the TD report, please.
He's got my cell
Jerry,
phone.
someone call Jerry and tell him to hit the like and the subscribe button so we can get Jerry on the show.
Folks, we're gonna be there next year covering Dallas game. We're gonna be in the stadium covering Dallas game.
We get to go to Jerry. Yeah. Cody won't go to Jerry World because he's afraid if he goes in there, he's gonna burst into flames.
Yeah,
like he's going into a church.
But he going that raggedy Kmart stadium around the corner.
Hey,
Man, that raggedy stadium.
That stadium's
look
terrible.
Like it's terrible.
Who built that?
I don't know,
There ain't
but it's
nothing but
terrible.
problems in
It looks like
that
it
world.
does look like a
They need to
CVS.
move back to RFK as they knocking it down.
Hey, I liked RFK.
Yeah,
I like that. It was the first time I saw a pro game was in RFK.
It was mine too, but
Okay.
it's old.
Let's talk about your Washington football team. A- is the word from the insiders.
Tommy, you are smoking. He is smoking. Ain't no way in the world they got A- and they didn't get the number one thing was quarterback. How you give him an A-?
That wasn't their need.
Quarterback is a need.
The
That
quarterback
wasn't their
wasn't
number one need.
the quarterback wasn't a pressing need.
It wasn't their number one need. They
I don't think
addressed
their
that
number one
in
need.
offseason.
I think their number one need, my opinion, their number one need was linebacker, and I think they got that with that
Okay.
first pick.
You need a quarterback.
They have a quarterback.
Conor McGregor is not going to get you winning.
Conor
Give me a
McGregor,
year.
he's going to push. He is
It's
going
tragic. Is gonna he gonna leave you hungry at midnight.
Wow.
I am telling y'all that right
Okay.
now. He gonna leave y'all hungry at midnight.
So the WFT, the Washington football team gets an A- grade, from our insider Tommy Johnson.
Tommy, you smoking?
Tommy might not be smoking because here's why. A few days after the draft, we hear the rumors out of Green Bay from certain insiders that are saying as on draft night or the day before the draft, Aaron Rodgers was making noise like he was never going to play there again,
He's not.
which is news to the GM of the Green Bay Packers.
Don't know why we called it. We called it after the AFC Championship
NFC
game
Championship
that
game.
he wasn't gonna
It
play.
literally looked like Aaron Rodgers in the NFC Championship game was throwing his hands up. I mean, as if to say, I can't do anything.
True.
I mean, what else can I do? So, if the WFT don't use that draft capital, they didn't use the draft capital to move up in the draft to take any one of the top quarterbacks. And, congratulations to the guys that got picked, the top 5 quarterbacks that got selected, where they were selected.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Justin Fields ended up in Chicago, who moved up in the draft to get him. Okay. A very bold move to do that.
Good move.
And I like the move. I thought it was I thought it was the right move, and I think the Chicago's going to be a good place for him.
Perfect place
I think
for
it's
him.
a good fit.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance, that was an interesting pick. Lance getting
One of my favorite in the draft.
Lance going, what was it, second to
Third
to the
Was
49ers.
it second or third?
No, he went third.
He went
49ers.
Third.
third.
And
Mhm.
Zach Wilson from
Second to the Jets.
BYU goes second to the Jets.
Horrible.
You didn't like that pick.
No,
No.
if you're gonna do that, then take Trey Lance.
You would have liked Trey Lance at the number 2 spot.
Well,
I like
listen,
Trey Lance better, but I think Zach
Listen.
fits.
Zach Wilson. I saw that.
Mhm.
I saw him lose to Coastal Carolina and all these other people. Utah State.
Coastal
all these other
Carolina was
people.
Coastal Carolina was pretty good.
Yeah,
last
but
year.
you a top dude like that, man. You supposed to throw for 400 against them. You
Okay.
out there struggling against them, man. Zach. So let me ask y'all:
And it's only fair.
Let me ask you this.
I get what you're
Just
saying,
do-
Tony. It's only fair.
the Jets with Zach Wilson,
Yeah.
or the Jets with Sam Darnold?
Would you say it's the same team?
No, Sam Darnold's better than Zach Wilson right now,
You think so?
and he's younger. He's the same age.
They're the same age?
Almost same
That's
age.
right. BYU. He's went on a Mormon mission, so
Yeah,
he is
same
probably
age.
so
So,
he is
I mean,
probably
what
a
we
little
talking
older.
about
he
here,
is,
folks?
He is a little older than your typical rookie.
What are we
Darnold
talking
was the
about?
Youngest quarterback.
Yeah.
I think to ever start.
So what are we talking
Really?
about?
Yeah.
What was he like? 20,
Yeah, I
21.
think it was 20,
20,
20 and like 8 months.
And that tells you a lot about the quarterbacking position in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's
Why take Zach Wilson when you have talents like Trey Lance and you have talents like Fields?
Mhm.
If you're trying, listen, man, if you're the Jets and you trying to change your culture, then you need to change what you've been doing.
Well, I think that's kind of why they wanted to get Zach Wilson in that.
It's the
trade,
same thing.
but he's way more mobile than Darnold.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Way more mobile.
But
And
he's
he's
nowhere
gonna-
near
and
the
he's gonna-
he has nowhere near the mobility of Lance or Fields.
Not
and he's
at
gonna
all.
and he's gonna need to be.
Yeah.
He's gonna need to be
You-
because
you-
this is a new NFL.
You daggone
These
right.
these edge rushers that they're bringing in, this new generation of edge
You better
rushers,
be able to get up off that.
it's an evolution in the league in terms of the athletic ability. And I had not seen Kwity Paye play but one time. I saw him play once for Michigan, but then I saw some of his film, like a lot more of his highlight reel. That guy, the angles that he can get into in order to get into pass rush position, to get around a left tackle. I was watching him in a couple of situations. And I said, the left tackle, that guy's too fat.
Yep.
And left tackles in the NFL now are not fat.
Nope.
They're not.
He didn't have an NFL charge, did he?
No, I don't.
NFL
Actually, you do.
linemen are no longer fat guys.
No.
Okay, these guys are in great physical
Go get it from
condition.
my mom. She got it.
They're all in great physical condition. So getting around corners and getting into gaps to make plays is what they do now. So yeah, a guy like Kwity Paye, that's another generation of edge rusher or a guy that can get after the passer. We saw a lot of guys like that go off the board. Now we saw more corners go off the board, it seemed like, than anything.
But learn how to backpedal.
And a lot of wide receivers came off the board. And it was mostly SEC wide receivers. There was a big run on those guys.
Let me tell you something. 259 players drafted.
Hmm.
Only 20 running backs.
That's it.
That's 7%.
The league has devalued the running back. The thing is, you still have to take the hits. You're still getting hit. There's going to be a situation where you've got guys like a Christian McCaffrey who does everything for the Panthers, where you're saying to yourself, how many snaps can we give him? How much more punishment can his body take before you start to break down? And Tony, you said it on our show, here on the TD Report. You said your body only has so many collisions left, so many collisions in it.
It only have a certain amount of collisions.
And honestly, at each level, and starting in high school, high school, college, pro. Now, what we're seeing is people are advising their clients, agents are advising their clients, hey, listen, you can go back to college another year, but you're going to add XYZ amount of mileage onto your body. That comes off the tail end of your pro career where you're actually making money. Okay? You're here in college, State University, you're eating ramen noodles and protein shakes. Okay? You could be in the NFL, eating steaks, from the Capitol Grill, and, you're going to have a private chef that's going to be making your food. You're going to be eating at the facility, right? Taking care of your body, sitting in a hot tub, going in and getting massages. Hey, listen, I'm talking about massages at the team facility, Texans fans. So when you when you're saying that about these guys and protecting their body and taking care of it, it's literally like having a daggone car. You might as well have an Eldorado. You got to have it up in Moore Cadillac. Even Moore Cadillac is gone. You DC area folks. I couldn't believe it when, what's left? Lindsay Cadillac? I think that's it, right? But
Capital Cadillac.
Capital Cadillac.
Yep.
If you don't take care of your body, okay, your body will take care of you.
Yep.
And not in a good way, right? Another thing, let's talk about something else about these young draftees that are coming in the league. And this goes out to all 259 guys that got drafted. Listen to Mr. Lynch. Take care of your mentals, okay? Take care of your mentals and take care of your chickens. Chickens is a metaphor for money. Take care of that, okay? How much of his pro money has he spent?
He didn't spend any. Lynch and Gronk, who played that long, they were like only two players that never spent any of their paychecks.
None of their
Not
checks.
a game check. Yeah.
Not spending a game check. That's smart.
Yeah, because
They living
Money
off.
off your promo.
you want
live off your
off your promo, your sponsorship, but you have to be. How should I say? You have to be very, very good at understanding a budget,
Yes.
because
Budget to win.
if first round draft picks, the first 10 picks let's do the math.
Yes.
They're probably getting about 235,000 a week,
Yes.
starting in the fall
A week.
a week, because
Okay.
you only get paid over 17, 18 weeks.
Got it.
So plus the $2 million, because you got an $8 million signing bonus, so you get $2 million a year for 4 years, plus the $2 million signing bonus.
Right.
So that's sitting in the bank, and you got that money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to say. Hey man, let's only spend $10,000 a month.
Right.
That's hard when you see all that money sitting in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard
Especially
to
as
do.
a young kid.
But if you do it, by the time you're 30, you're gonna thank everybody in the world because you're gonna have enough money.
Yeah, plenty.
You're gonna have plenty of money.
You should.
But when you hanging down in Miami and you going and do it and you balling and you private planes and
Yeah, but
bottle service
if
and
you have an IG model habit,
and
Man,
IG
it
model
sounds good.
and all
I
that.
can't honestly.
it
I've seen
sound-
some of these IG
it
models.
sound all
I
good, doesn't
I
it?
don't blame you.
Sounds great.
I don't blame you.
It sounds great.
It sounds lovely.
But guess what?
Oh, it sounds.
Pretty soon you're gonna be looking.
It
You're gonna
sounds
be looking
dreamy.
for Amazon, not for stock, but for a job.
Yeah,
Because
right.
I'm serious. You don't do that. If you are out here and you're spending that money like that, you're gonna be looking around in 3 to 4 years.
Bro, you'll be selling your Jordan collection.
Man, when
You'll be
I-
selling your J's.
Now I heard somebody
It's not
say
Team Apparel.
that one of the girls that they were dating said, "Oh,
My game helmet.
they don't really spend money, but they got a love for shoes and bags and shades."
That's
I said, "Man, do you understand what that?" I said, "Listen, dog, y'all are tripping."
You want to see something funny? Watch an NFL wife go shopping with an NBA wife and see how they spend. The NFL wife is watching the NBA wife because the NBA is all guaranteed.
Yeah.
Those first round guys,
Yeah.
they're 100% guaranteed. The NBA wife, the way she spends compared to the NFL wife, the NFL wife is sitting there like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" She's
That's
like,
crazy.
"Yeah, I'll take all those Louis Vuittons. I'll take the whole rack."
They're crazy.
It's like the whole rack, yeah, that
They're
whole
crazy.
top row
Yeah.
and the whole middle
They're
row.
crazy.
And the NFL wife is like, "I'll just take that little one over there in the corner," and
They're
she's
crazy.
still spending.
It's on sale.
Women be shopping.
Yeah, they crazy.
Women be shopping.
Yeah, well.
Now listen,
I'm going back
I
to what-
can't begrudge these guys.
I'm not mad.
It's listen.
Yeah,
I don't date women on that level, but I can tell you, if you have an IG model habit, if you got a Vegas problem,
It's expensive.
it's expensive.
There's a
It's
reason.
gonna get you.
There's
It's
a-
gonna get you after a while.
There's a reason why ESPN has a show called 30 for 30 Broke.
Oh, that's one of the best shows I've ever watched.
It
That was incredible.
It should be mandatory watching for the 259 who were drafted and the undrafted free agents. A lot of guys didn't get drafted and they were undrafted free agents. They're going to make the team.
They have
And, they got lucky because now they get to choose the team that they
Yeah.
want to go to. You notice I put out a big tweet and I said, when they got to 7th round, I said, right now it's better not to get drafted so you can
Correct.
go to your best position. Like me, when I had it, I was supposed to be from 5th to 7th. But when we got to the thing, I ended up having, I think it was Chicago, Dallas, and Miami. Well, one team was already out, was Miami, because they didn't keep running backs. That's when
Right.
they had
They
Marino.
they run
But-
through them.
If looking back at it, because Emmett held out, is the only reason why I didn't get the best shot to make the team.
Mm-hmm.
Because they took somebody in the second round. And that's when first and second round dudes are protected. When they take you first or second round,
They took
they're
Derek,
gonna make-
they took Derek
they
Lassiter
took Lassie
from
good
Alabama.
ball player. It was great.
No, it's a great ball player.
Great ball, all that, but you know what? If you're cheaper,
He was protected.
He
Was
was
they're gonna
protected.
protect you.
He's protected, so
You
they're gonna
use
give
that
him the
draft
reps.
capital up there.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Yeah.
stick. You'll stick for a while.
Trying to
Yeah.
get you all
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and that's great.
Mhm.
But that shows you exactly. So you have to look at the teams when we go to training camps this year, and we get to
Ooh.
evaluate. Like we can go to Phillies camp, we're gonna go to the Giants camp, Washington,
Yeah,
and
we'll definitely go
Baltimore.
down to Richmond. Yeah.
Because we're gonna see Dallas and Pittsburgh on one shot when we go there and see them.
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame game. So we'll be able to see all 6 other teams.
Right.
So we'll be able to give you guys a better insight on who's winning
You
the
gotta
job.
have. We're gonna have to
who's
have the
doing that.
binoculars.
And if
Who's
you all
doing-
want to stay up to date to that, just click subscribe down here somewhere.
Yeah.
Or click
Yep.
the profile
Mhm.
link.
Absolutely.
It'll take you to it so you can press subscribe. It'll get you updates every time we go live.
It's going to be really interesting to see what our teams of record do. The teams that we're basically following
Yeah.
on the show,
Mhm.
but mainly the NFC East and
And the AFC
AFC North division.
Mhm.
because that's the black and that's the black and blue division. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get messed up in that division
Yep.
pretty fast.
You
And
can.
we expect the AFC North to be extremely competitive,
Very
fiercely
competitive.
competitive. Where we I don't know if anyone's a big movie buff. I'm a big movie buff. This is the Glengarry Glen Ross. First place, you're gonna get some leads, some great leads. You're gonna make you some money. Second place is a set of steak knives. Third place, you're fired.
Well, let,
That's what the division is. That's what's going to be.
let me tell you something so we can understand this. On paper, the AFC North looks all good. But there's only one division where every team has a Lombardi in that trophy case.
And they just
And,
fi-
it, and, they got
the
bad
last team
blood.
and the last team in that division that got their Lombardi trophy just fired their coach last year.
Yeah,
The Eagles.
but it sounds good.
I've never seen a team turn that fast on a coach.
They turned.
I can't believe they did it.
I can't believe they did it either. He's got a statue out in front of that stadium, and he's fired.
He's fired. Kim's got to go.
I would have thought they had people in Philadelphia eating horse poop off the streets. They were so excited they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
And now the coach is gone.
Yeah.
It's a great YouTube, by the way, if you ever want to look at it.
Yeah, he
the
knows.
guy actually ate boo boo, right? Horse poop right off the ground, man.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. I
So-
said, man, I hope they blurred his face because people are always gonna know him. All his friends
Yep.
know him as the guy that ate boo boo
Yeah.
off the ground. That was
That
terrible.
guy.
So let's talk about this Green Bay thing. Let's close the show on this.
Yeah.
The potential of the WFT to end up with a top tier quarterback, but is it worth the price to pay to get and basically what amounts to a rental for Aaron Rodgers for 2 years, and then maybe you're able to extend him? Because I'll say this as a parting shot: are we sure that Aaron Rodgers, the noise that he's making in Green Bay, are we sure he wants to play another 5 years of football?
I think he does. I honestly am not convinced he even leaves Green Bay.
It's
I
gonna
know
be
it
hard to
seems-
go back
I
in
know
the.
it seems rocky and it seems rough, but
How do you go back in the room after the things that you've put out on social media and said? And there's some weird stuff coming from the Rodgers camp because following what he's bringing out to the media, now
Right.
he's saying, "Oh well, it's just too bad that these reports had to come out." Aaron, you put this stuff out there.
uh,
This wasn't a janitor at the Packers facility that overheard a phone call. This came from Rodgers himself.
there's obviously tension there, and I think that the general manager is going to go over Aaron Rodgers would.
The ownership had flown out to California
Right.
Mhm.
and had talked with him. But then after the owners came back, the next report was
Mhm.
that he doesn't want to play ever in Green Bay and thought he's played his last game.
Mhm.
So that just seemed like a very how can I say it? Just a very defiant stance, very adamant
Mhm.
that he was going to make that statement.
Mhm.
I just thought it was just a rough time. And then we were able to watch the Green Bay draft unfold with Aaron Rodgers' statements as the backdrop.
Mhm.
And the first round pick goes by, and we're thinking, this has got to be a wide receiver. Nope. Was the second pick a wide receiver? Don't think so. I don't think they took a wide receiver till like the fourth pick that they had. That was like the second day. That might have been the second day of the draft.
He
Third
gone.
day of the draft.
Aaron Rodgers is gone.
Were
He
they
can't-
defying him?
he
I
can't-
think they might have been
yeah.
just basically saying,
They pick
Aaron,
him
we're going to
too.
draft who we draft. Now you're the GM. You might be fired, and you've made it to two NFC
They're not
NFC
firing
championship
they're
games
not
in a row.
firing the GM. You know why? Because they are the ones who went and took the quarterback
right.
first.
They went and traded up and took a first round
They
quarterback.
went and took quarterback first. So they started this.
Yeah, was it Bryce Love, right?
Yeah.
No, Jordan. Love.
Jordan
Love.
Love, excuse me.
Bryce
Bryce Love
Love
is a
was
running back.
running
Sorry,
back.
Bryce.
Yeah, sorry.
Jordan Love.
Bryce Love couldn't.
Jordan Love
couldn't
ends up holding a clipboard behind Aaron Rodgers, but he's got to be saying to himself, he's in the middle of the fire now
Mm-hmm.
because now his training camp, he got to come out looking good.
Yep.
He's literally got to come out and impress
Mm-hmm.
because he's in year 2, I think it is. Last year was his rookie.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in year 2, and he's thinking to himself, I'm a little bit closer to this field.
Yep.
I could be close to this field. Do I want to ever leave Green Bay? I want to just stick around and wait till Rodgers leaves and then step in. So It's going to be an interesting situation to see in a division that they basically ran away with last year.
Please God, do not let Aaron Rodgers go to the Washington football team.
I think that's good.
Please God, let Aaron Rodgers go to the Washington football team.
Honestly, I think that the WFT stands pat. I don't think they make the move.
I don't think they do either.
The Matt, I think with the thing that that upsets that apple cart is the potential for somebody like a Matt Ioannidis. I think they could let a defensive starter go, but it wouldn't be Ioannidis.
So who gets Aaron Rodgers?
I think Ioannidis is expendable with what we have.
You think he's
everything
expendable?
We did everything we did last year without him touching.
Y'all
the field.
sure
He was injured. He was injured.
He was injured last
Yeah,
year.
torn
But
pec.
he's an important guy to that defense.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything from him. With him being there, he is a difference maker on the field.
Very much.
But we have the capabilities to do what we did last year and some.
So
without
basically,
him on
the
the field.
trade is
It's Aaron
Ioannidis-
Rodgers. Ioannidis for essentially Aaron Rodgers and some draft picks, which
With a first and a second for next year and the year after.
two firsts, 2 seconds.
I don't see nobody in
Yeah.
college coming out the next 2 years that's better than that's going to help your team more than Aaron Rodgers would.
Not at number 19, which is those picks. The value of those picks.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
the
they're
first
going to win
rounders-
games. So they're gonna be in the
WFT is
20s.
going to be
Yeah.
the WFT's pick will be no higher than 19.
No.
Yeah. So exactly.
Now, if you told me these would be top 10s,
Yeah.
if you told me these are top 10 picks,
different ball, game.
different ball game,
different ball,
right? But
Oh
those
man, I want to pull that trigger so bad.
You wanna pull
like,
it? I mean-
so bad. Like, it's,
at this point, Cody's already made the deal, and he
Two
says send,
first
he's
rounds,
already
2
called over to
seconds,
Green Bay.
yeah.
Send him on over.
yeah, I know
Right?
this is on
Well,
this on
Green
the plane.
Bay. Listen, the person who loves him the most is sitting out there in Vegas. Gruden
loves him.
Oh yeah.
Gruden loves him. If you go start pull up all the stuff when he talked about,
Oh, he loves that
he
guy.
loves him.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, but I think the most sensible pick would probably be Denver because it's an opposite conference, and Elway.
I mean,
Look what Elway did with
Elway at this point is desperate. I mean, he fired himself, moved himself into a position where he oversees the guy that he hired. who can do that at work?
Well, they got Teddy Bridgewater. They got Drew Lock.
That's the bridge. That's the bridge.
They're good back.
They've
been a great backup.
Didn't they pick
for
up?
him.
They
I think
picked up a.
Bridgewater is a capable starter.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
they picked up the. They picked up the. They basically picked up who would be potential heir apparent to a Von Miller.
Yeah.
On their defense.
Yeah.
But at that point with Von Miller, you're going to have to start looking to.
He gotta go. Send him.
He's expensive.
Yeah.
He's getting older.
Didn't they
He's
just,
not
didn't
old.
they just give him an extension?
They just extended him, but still, man,
Yeah,
he's
he gotta go.
expensive.
I'll send all that. If he's on Denver, that Denver now in that division, because that division is tight.
The division's tight.
That's an underrated division with
Yeah, Kansas City.
And
Kansas
he has
City,
weapons too.
the Chargers, the Raiders.
Chargers looking to make a move up.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
they have a nice young
that's
quarterback.
Yes.
I mean, but let's be
Mhm.
honest, their quarterback is what, a year, 2 years younger than Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he could be there for quite some time. Those guys they were drafted a year apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this will be his second year in the league, and then this will be Pat Mahomes' third year, fourth year.
Fourth, fifth.
No, not fifth.
That'd be fifth.
He only sat behind Alex Smith for 1 year.
Wait a minute, 18, 19, 20, 21. This is
His fourth year.
Jackson's fourth year, so it's Mahomes' fifth year.
No, this
No,
is Mahomes' fourth
no.
year.
No, because Jackson came in. Lamar
only
Jackson
started
came
3
in at
years.
18. Lamar Jackson came in 18, 19, 20, and this is 21. This is Jackson's fourth year, so it's Mahomes' fifth year.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, he
He's
came
only
in-
He's only started 3 seasons.
He's only started 3 seasons.
But he came in 17.
No, he came in 18.
No, he came in 17.
You sure?
He came in 17 because Alex Smith was the quarterback when Alex Smith played against the Redskins.
Right.
And they beat him on a Monday night. Alex Smith then comes to the Redskins in 18 and gets hurt. Alex Smith got hurt in 18 when he beat Dallas. That's
And
the
they
only
won this-
time they
and that
beat
was the year
Dallas.
They won Super Bowl.
So it's 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. This is Pat Mahomes' fifth year.
Wow.
This is Jackson's fourth year.
And he's about to bank $500 million.
Yep.
Quick how the world changes
This,
on you,
this,
Tony.
the years go by fast.
Yeah, apparently.
These years rolling.
So if you're talking about a situation you know, if you're talking about that situation there, then you know, I see where you're coming from. I can dig it. I don't disagree with you on that.
I'm telling you, Denver is probably the more likely spot because I don't think the Washington football team got the you know what to pull the trigger.
Are you trying to say balls?
Yeah, they don't have the balls to pull the trigger.
Then just say what you mean, man.
If it was Dallas, Jerry Jones.
Oh well, Jerry Jones would have been done that.
He would pull
I
the
mean,
trigger.
I know Jerry Jones probably looked more into the Russell Wilson potential than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
There's probably a couple of guys on the Cowboys roster that don't realize they was about to be in Seattle a few
Right.
weeks ago.
Yeah,
They didn't realize it.
They
You know, hope they like Starbucks.
Now,
Hope they like Starbucks.
now, the only thing that can save Washington football team, and Cody and I talked about it last year before they may get Russell Wilson.
You like Russell Wilson to come to the DC,
Lot.
come to DC
A
Next
lot.
year.
next year.
Yeah,
Next
wow.
year. After they
Now
suffer,
that would be interesting.
after they suffered a beatdown, Seattle gonna suffer this year. They're gonna get plastered over there. They're gonna lose
Come
to
on, Tony.
Arizona. They're
Who?
gonna lose to the Rams, and they're gonna lose to San Francisco. They're gonna get plastered
Who,
in
the
that
Seahawks?
division.
Yeah.
Yes, the Seahawks is on their way down. Their defense
Okay.
is terrible. They're gonna lose to all those people.
Oh wow.
And then Russell Wilson gonna see that defense over there with them, and then these fools are gonna be up there and doing all that other stuff.
And that said,
And it's gonna be they're gonna say, oh, the Washington football team is just a quarterback away from going.
they might be.
Yeah.
We got to see it next year, but I like what the WFT did. You know, from the draft perspective, I think they're going to do just fine.
There's
I
a
think they're gonna
reason
be
why
fine.
this is 19 and he ain't never been in the playoffs. So where's the magic? How y'all call him Fitz Magic if you ain't never been in the playoffs?
He's employee number 3. That's what he does.
Man.
He is literally a journeyman quarterback. That's all he is.
It's a lot of hype on that NBC state. Oh, well, you know, we can win the Super Bowl without a quarterback, blah, blah, blah. We don't need a
I don't know what's going to happen with the
Man, get off all
WFT
that
next
stuff.
year, but whatever it is, it's going to be entertaining.
Get off all that
It's
stuff.
gonna be entertaining.
It will be entertaining, folks. And listen, I ain't no hater. I ain't gonna
I
cheer
was gonna
against.
say.
He's
I
a
ain't
hater.
gonna
You a
hate-
hater.
I ain't no
Tony.
hater.
You're just a little bit. You're just a little bit of a hater, Tony.
I ain't no hater. But there's a big
yeah,
but.
you are.
But I don't want to see them get Rodgers because we can't beat Rodgers.
No, not this
For
division.
some reason, we
you
can't
put
not beat Rodgers.
You put Rodgers in this division.
Mhm.
He
It's
runs
gonna
the
be like
division till he leaves.
it's gonna be like putting a shark in a koi pond. It's gonna be some blood.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna.
Yeah, it's not. Gonna,
it's not gonna be.
it's not a good move because he's the reigning MVP.
Mhm.
What happened? So we can understand. Green Bay gambled, thinking that Rodgers was on a decline.
Correct.
So they move up and draft the first round to try to,
Yep.
quarterback is on decline. But guess what? The quarterback wins MVP.
and then their wide
Then
receivers.
all hell
and
breaks
then
loose.
some of their wide receivers get the dropsies at the worst time, except for
Yeah.
Devontae. Devontae
Mhm.
Adams is incredible.
So they didn't lose
18
that.
Was it 18 touchdowns?
Yeah,
He was
incredible.
incredible. He was automatic.
They need to go by the coaching because they should have gone for it on fourth down
They
to
should.
win the game.
Absolutely.
You in the NFC Championship, you go to win the game.
Correct. I'm surprised, Aaron. I'm surprised he didn't. I'm
That's
not surprised
coaching.
it did. That was coaching. That was
Mhm.
guts. Well, lack thereof.
Lack of
You know, at that
Mhm.
point, I was watching the game. At that point, I just took my sheet and just threw it in the air and walked away. I
Yeah.
knew it. It was.
That
It
was
was
ball
over
game.
right then. That was it.
That was ball
game.
game.
I just, I just forget about it.
Aaron Rodgers does to Washington what Tom Brady did to Tampa.
Correct. That I can buy, or Russell Wilson, whichever one they get. If they don't get Rodgers this year, but they
And
get
they don't get-
if they get
if they
Russell
get
Wilson
Russell,
next year,
then
we're going to be talking about this
then
again.
that
Yeah.
negates.
Yeah.
But if they don't get either one, and they're still looking for a quarterback, that's going to be what's going to stop them from going to anyway.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Russell Wilson likes the idea of being in Washington D.C., most powerful city in the world.
He's from Richmond.
He's
so
from Richmond. I think
yeah.
he loves the idea.
So-
I think he really likes it. From Richmond to D.C. to get to a game, what is that? 2 hours?
Yeah.
Max?
2 hours tops.
top. So
Yeah.
I mean, listen, folks. For you guys, you may think I'm hating on the Washington
Just
football
trading.
team. I'm not hating on
Ashburn.
them,
Right.
but we won't see them in Super Bowl 56 out in L.A. on February 13th.
Right. And let's ask another question. Did the
Right.
WFT renew in Richmond for the training camp?
Did they
I
renew?
believe so. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but I
Well,
believe
if they didn't,
Russell Wilson
if Russell
will.
Wilson
Yeah,
comes
they
to the
will.
DC,
They
they're
damn
coming
sure
back,
They will.
right?
They've shown-
So yeah, I don't know if they
Could be another
renewed,
while.
but if they renewed and they're in
Yeah.
Richmond for another few years,
Mhm.
we're old. We're older than Cody, everyone. So we remember when the WFT was
Carlisle.
up in Carlisle,
Mhm.
Carlisle, PA, and had them guys sleeping in dorms.
Dickinson College.
Yeah, Dickinson College. That's
Mhm,
right.
mhm.
So, as we end this edition of the TD Report, let's talk about our next show. Our next show is going to be on, what are we on, Monday? Wednesday of next week.
Wednesday the 12th. We're going to do the schedule release, guys.
Inside,
we're going to be right here with the TV.
We're going to watch
and
it.
we're going to watch the schedule release, and we're going to kind of lay out, and then that's when we can all
Instant
lay
analysis.
out the real stuff on the
Yeah.
divisions and
Yes.
projections.
Right,
and-
because how it's
We're-
going to go.
We'll
and
have
we're
instant
gonna-
analysis from
Mhm.
instant analysis from our insiders.
Yep.
Insiders, if you're watching, get ready for Wednesday.
And our team win-loss projection.
Yep.
And we'll have win-loss projections.
We'll
Yeah.
do everybody's.
Everybody's all
Well,
the six.
it'll all come into. It's all going to come into focus.
Mhm.
But then also, we're going to be looking at certain things like weather.
Mhm.
We're going to be talking about indoor-outdoor teams,
Mhm.
records, indoor-outdoor. Who has a kicker that can't kick a cold
Mhm.
football? Literally, who's a good cold weather kicker for this team? That could be the difference between winning a
You
division
got that right.
and being out the playoffs.
Being out-
Like I
yes.
said, second place is a set of steak knives. Third place is you're fired.
Mhm.
Okay, and nobody wants to be the guy that's in third place. So, as we close out, I want to have everybody make sure you hit that like and the subscribe button. It's right down here at the bottom. Definitely appreciate everybody, especially our insiders, and a special thank you for me. We picked up a lot of new followers
Okay.
during the draft.
We did.
Want to thank all of our new coming followers,
Yep.
as well as our followers that have been down with us since four flat tires since day one. So thank you very much for everybody.
Mhm.
For myself, David Combs here on the TD Report. Got Tony Kennedy to my left. To his left, Cody Bennett. That's at Cody Bennett NFL. Two N's,
Sure.
two T's. He's going to have instant analysis as well as he gave you a fantasy tidbit today. He gave us that.
That's a bold prediction.
That-
That
that's
may
a bold
change
prediction.
By once I start running these fantasy mock drafts, but
For our Cowboy fans and for our fantasy fans, he said that CeeDee
I
Lamb is
do
going to
believe
be a
he's
very
the wide
big,
receiver to have
a very
in
big
Dallas.
wide receiver to have in your fantasy
I think,
drafts.
yeah, he's
So,
the wide receiver to have in Dallas.
Keep an eye on that guy. I was against the pick for Dallas. I didn't think that was a good pick. You felt that they had to make it,
Yeah.
but that had a ripple effect, obviously, for this year. Dallas
Sure.
doesn't take that guy there. They might have been willing to take a Devontae Smith this year
Right.
at their spot,
Yeah.
Which we don't need.
which they don't need it now because they took it last year.
Right.
Jerry took a lot of heat for that pick last year.
So
I think it worked out well.
But you talked about Michael Gallup and so on and so forth. So we're going to talk about a lot of scenarios like that with a lot of different teams where a guy or guys become expendable.
right.
For example, taking Micah Parsons at this spot that Dallas did, that explains why they didn't extend Leighton Vander Esch. Jalen Smith got his money. Vander Esch did not. Vander Esch came in a year behind Jalen Smith.
And LV is injury prone.
He's in there, bro. He's Sean Lee.
Sean Lee
2.0.
all
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah.
But man, his
Yeah.
first 2 years in the league, he looked great.
Oh, yeah.
But he's a crash test dummy. You're
Yeah.
taking a lot of hits. You're making a lot of hits.
What have you done for me lately?
And he was injured all year. That
Mhm.
did impact the Dallas defense.
Yes, it did.
So as you can see, we could literally do this show for another hour just
Yes,
talking
we
about
do.
stuff like that.
Yep.
We got to let you guys get to dinner. We've got to get to dinner and get to our families. So we're going to close it out here. We're going to see you guys on Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Wednesday for the schedule release.
Schedule release. So
Get
we
your
can all
pizza-
set our
Get your
stuff.
pizza ready. Get your breadsticks
Oh,
ready.
yeah.
We're
Get
gonna
your
be over
wings.
here eating
We're
pizza.
gonna be here.
We're
In
gonna
fact,
be doing
I think
all
we might
that
need
stuff.
to. I think we might need to do some pizza.
Yeah,
and
we're
wings.
gonna do some wings,
Absolutely.
pizzas, and we're
Maybe
gonna
some
sit
beer.
here,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be. It's gonna be a late night for us to
Yeah.
get this done
Yeah.
because we need to see because that's a big night. That's
No,
a
now-
whole
now,
schedule.
on the
That's-
real, one of my favorite shows was from a Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, it was.
Knocking out some lemon
Those
pepper
wings
wings.
were-
That
those
was
wings were
fun,
fun.
man.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Hey, thanks to everybody over at the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Brother
That was
Mills.
great. Thanks, Megan, for bringing the food to our table. That was
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
Now, I didn't drink beer that day. I should have had a pitcher of beer out there, but I had to be somewhere, so I drank soda. But definitely check us out again for the TD Report. Thank you for supporting us. Hit the like and the subscribe button. Share it with a friend. I'm your host, David Combs.
Tony Kennedy.
Cody Bennett.
Thanks a lot.